It's begun. Yeah. We already knew that Arios would be here, but I had no idea Mr. Grimwood was going to play a role too. It would seem his moniker of Grizzly Grim is well known outside of Crossbell as well. Keep in mind that conferences such as these are meant for establishing accords and agreements between governing bodies. As such, it's necessary to have someone on hand with expertise in international and common law. Huh, I see. And who would make a better advisor for that than Grizzly Grim himself? It's nice that we can see the start of the conference and all, but this stuff is way over my head. It's not as though it's our place to be concerned with the actual discussions during the conference. Focus on what matters most, making sure today passes without incident. Understood. Should we begin as pleased? Yes, I task you with patrolling the 34th, 5th, and 6th stories. Everyone on these floors should know who you are and why you're here. I'd advise you take the time to speak with the members of the media and staff and dignitaries. Roger that. Good, I'll be heading back to the 34th floor. May Adios protect you, call me if anything happens. Dudley's usually pretty steely, but even he's on edge today. I know this too. Dudley is Dudley. It's hard to imagine today ending peacefully after what we experienced last night. I agree. We're gonna need to be hyper-vigilant on these patrols. No kidding. What do you say, leader? Ready to get the show on the road? I am. Let's follow Dudley's advice and see if we get all the other parties present. Bet. This is 36th floor. This is a really nice tower. Elevators, we don't need that. This Lecter. Dang, get a load of that view. And it's something SSS. Lecter. What are you doing here? Aw, come on, you guys. I'm part of His Excellency the Chancellor's staff. Nothing unusual about me kicking back in here. It's been a few weeks, guys and gals. We really gotta stop meeting like this. Even today of all days, you look like you don't have a care in the world. What he looks like is someone with something to hide. Hey, don't be like that, little lady. Only thing I'm hiding under all this is charm, is additional surplus charm. So, those glares on your faces tell me you guys have a boatload of questions you want to ask? That's right, we've learned a thing or two in the past 24 hours. Specifically about the Imperial government's actions, or lack thereof, regarding the trade conference. Alright then, I'm not exactly sure what you've heard, so let me shoot you a question of my own. Did you know I'm working with the noble faction to take Gilead Osborne's life? What? Oh. Consider the source, everyone. Don't listen to a word he says. I ain't falling for this one again, pal. Fool us once, shame on you. Dang, don't ruin the guy's fun like that. 2 out of 6 ain't bad, but I was hoping to string half of you along at least. I suppose we can just chalk that one up as a crude attempt at humor then. Listen, Lecter, because I need to make something clear. I don't care what your position or goal is. From where I'm standing, you're the type of person who knows how to take responsibility and get the job done. Owing to that, the most logical thing to do would be to cooperate with us, at least as far as security is concerned. Am I wrong? So that's your play. I was only fooling about that turncoat business just now, but you can't tell me it's totally impossible to picture, right? You gotta keep your eyes peeled at all times, stay vigilant, and see the signs. That's the key to a good writer, finding inspiration, you know. I don't know any aspiring authors in this room last time I checked. I've seen broken rifles shoot straighter than this guy. Sorry, but that's all the advice I can give. You should keep an open mind about how things might play out, expect the unexpected, and all that jazz. That's real helpful, thanks. Even now, I can't get a read on what he's thinking. I feel like I understand him even less than I did before. Oh, Lecter. Quite the opposite of an open book. So I know they have no place in this conference area, but give me more Kevin and Reese. Consider I want more Kevin and Reese. Oh, Julia. Good afternoon, everyone. If it isn't the SSS, I take it you've been securing the conference rooms for everyone? That's right, we managed to eke out an assignment as part of the security. So this is the room where they've stashed all the big guns, is it? Metaphorically speaking, of course. I bet every last person in here is a ranking officer. Correct, by all accounts, this room alone could prevent a major incident. Absolutely, not to mention Senior Captain Schwartz's swordsmanship. I've heard it's as fearsome as it's elegant. You're far too kind. It's nothing extraordinary. That being said, no matter what happens, no one will lay so much as a finger on Her Highness, I swear it. Trust us to protect the conference room, and we'll trust you to keep a watch over the other floors. Of course, thank you. Good to see you again, Major Vander. Have you noticed anything out of the ordinary yet? Hello there, SSS. Hardly enough reason to let our guards down, but things have been calm thus far. Even the disclosure of the conference itself has been civil. I'm admittedly impressed by how smoothly things are going. If the conference continues to go well, that will at least alleviate some of the stress on the prince's shoulders. Is everything okay, Major Vander? You seem to have a lot on your mind. I suppose you could say that. In a sense, we've only come this far because of the seeds he chose to sow. But never mind that. What matters right now is our duties at the conference. I have a role to play as the prince's escort, just as I'm sure you all have your own, keeping the conference secure. Right, that much is for certain. Oh, I've been a nervous wreck all day. Is this, this is Towa from Trails of Cold Steel. That's awesome. I was not expecting to see you here, but I can't let this opportunity go to waste, especially after all Prince Oliver's done for the Academy. Most importantly, I'm here as a representative of Thor's. Yeah, this is really neat. I've got to pull myself together and chip in. What's a girl in a school uniform doing here? I did hear a student was going to be accompanying the Imperial government to the conference. Supposedly they're hoping to gain some real-world experience, being one of the best and brightest of their academy. This must be her. Damn, and here I was thinking someone just couldn't find a babysitter. Somehow I get the feeling she and I would have a lot to talk about. She has to have skipped a grade or two, right? Well, you never know, that girl just might be around the same age as you, Lloyd. She seems like she's got a real good head on her shoulders, so I guess she could be older than she looks. It'd be nice to get to know her, but we're a bit pressed for time. Let's see, I still have to put together the conference minutes and review the draft we're sending to the Imperial Times. Oh, and I need to respond to Radio Triss's media request, too. That's so awesome. I was not expecting Towa to be here. There must be a point in the game where Towa goes to Crossbell or something, but I haven't played Cold Steel in so long I don't remember. Graceland! Good to see you, SSS. Hey, if it ain't Lloyd and company. Feels like we've been waiting forever this trade conference to kick off, doesn't it? It's the main event of all main events, Crossbow's leadership and representatives from 4 nearby countries in a bonanza of international discourse. And of course, a big to-do like this demands a primetime venue, Orcus Tower, the continent's first true skyscraper. Can you feel it, the nerves in the air? I'm so tense that my heart's about to jump out of my chest. I definitely see the tension, but honestly, you don't look the least bit nervous to me. I suspect the nerves are coming less from her and more from her future prospective victims/interviewees. Tio, you're back, and you brought that trademark snark along with you. I'll admit, I'm not so anxious as I am giddy, but enough about that. There's someone I want to introduce you to. Meet Noticia. Noticia, this is the SSS. Nice to meet you. I've seen you all in the papers before. You look like an even finer team in person. I'm Noticia, reporter from Liberal News. Thanks for keeping us all safe for the day. Happy to be of service. I've heard of the Liberal News Service. It's the largest publication in the kingdom. That's right, they've also been getting a lot of attention in the journalism world for another reason. 2 of their own reporters were awarded the Pulitzer Prize last year. The Pulitzer Prize. If I remember correctly, they give that the most outstanding journalists on the continents each year. That's the one. Anyway, the latest recipients are a duo by the names of Niall Burns and Dorothy Haya. I know who they are. Niall's our ace reporter and Dorothy's a brilliant camera woman. So, the kingdom took home the crown last year, huh? 2 guesses as to what prize-winning story was. Could they have been about the strange phenomenon that happened in Liberal around that time? Right again. Though, technically everything they covered up leading to the incident factored into the decision, too. I see, they sound very impressive. Yeah, I guess so, but that doesn't mean we'll just lie down and let them outshine us. It's every reporter's dream to win the Pulitzer Prize at least once in their career. If you want to win the next one, then you better get the best scoop you can each and every day, especially this one. About that, Rhines, we can't let any of these new showns get the jump on us. Yes, ma'am. If Grace gets any more fired up, the orbital sprinkler system might go off. Let's hope she can behave herself at least. There you all are. Have you not noticed anything amiss? Not yet. The monitor over there gives you a security overview of the entire tower at once. Correct, we have access to every critical area of the building in real time. That includes the conference room, of course. Thankfully, the tower is equipped with the most advanced security system on the continent. Numerous locations are beginning to incorporate video surveillance, as I recall from the IBC to Orbital stores. I've never seen such a large quantity of them in one place, however. How many there are is only half of it. The fact that technology even exists is amazing on its own. I wouldn't be surprised to see them used to survey areas outside the city. Someday the CGF's days might be numbered, Noel. I don't think it'll ever be that simple. How widespread they become is going to depend on the public's approval. Digressions aside, there are more than welcome convenience for this assignment. Without any leads on the terrorist plan, all we can do is nip things in the bud the moment they strike, whether right before or just after. That's why we have to keep our eyes sharp. We can't afford to overlook even the tiniest details. If you come across anything suspicious, be sure to report it at once. Understood. Captain Grant, pleasure to see you. Hey, Grant, working hard. Good day, Sergeant Major Seeker, you as well, Orlando. Though I suppose neither of you is technically part of the CGF at this moment. That's true, but my leave is only temporary. You can dress me or whatever you find easiest. I don't really care either way. Are you two the only representatives from the CGF on this floor? That we are. It's out of consideration for the dignitaries and members of the press, you might say. Part of the CGF's orders for this assignment is to stay out of their sight and minimize exposure. Sounds like the reasoning goes deeper than that. It does. Essentially, the decision's a way of tiptoeing around the two major powers. While the Guardian Force's weaponry is restricted by state law, it still functions the same as any other state military. We stay within budget, but a great deal of our funding goes towards maintaining and improving the arms we're allowed to have. Those expenditures would be an easy point of contention if they were out in the open during the conference. Out of sight and out of mind, in other words. Diplomacy can be one fickle mistress. All true, but I'm trying not to think about it too much. In the end, both of us are only here for appearance's sake. Still, there's an entire company of guardsmen one story below, ready to mobilize at a moment's notice. Should you find something that happened, they'll be on the floor within seconds. Good to know. We'll be counting on you if it comes to that. Roger that. There's waiting rooms for members of the policy. I saw Vice Commissioner Pierre muttering to himself earlier. I hope he's alright. Oh, not that dude. I'm a little worried about him, to be honest. He has no mouth. I mean, they all have no mouths, but for some reason it's more apparent on Vice Commissioner Pierre. Oh, I can't believe that woman would. No, I'm sure of it this time. Who's he mumbling about? Excuse us, Vice Commissioner? What? The special support section? Oh, joy. Well, can I help you? If I may ask, Vice Commissioner, what are you doing here? Tia, you can't just... Oh, nothing, except my job as director of the security command room. Oh, since when? Come to think of it, I do recall seeing your name sprinkled around in some of our materials. I see, I never read those, hence my confusion. You what? Oh, here we go again. We probably should have mentioned this to you all sooner. Whoops. One question, if you're the head of security, why are you here instead of the command room? Taking a little break? Please, Dudley has full authority while we're here on site, with my permission, of course. So you see, there's no reason for me to be in the command room. Too many leaders to spoil the group, as it were. Think of it however you like. As your superior, I know what's best for the operation. Now then, you six just focus on not getting in Dudley's way. Yes, sir. Sir, yes, sir. Killico. Well, look who it is. It's been some time, SSS. How are your patrols going, Killico? Where are my manners? The last time we met, it was under different circumstances. Allow me to reintroduce myself. Killico Rowan, aide to the President of the Cowbar Republic, at your service. I have other responsibilities and titles, of course, but they're nothing worth mentioning. I suppose not. Would that include being an entertainment producer like you mentioned before? It would, quite legitimately in fact. It's just one of the many hats I don. There is, for that matter, a production company office back in the Republic as well. I see. In other words, there are no holes to poke in your story. She's a woman with a mask for every situation, and like any self-respecting spy, she knows how to use them. Hey, I like me a little mystique. What I wouldn't give the roleplay with her just one night. That's one of those comments best kept to yourself, Randy. Care to share your conversation with the class, you three? Oh, that reminds me. A little birdie tells me that a little birdie invited you aboard the Orsio yesterday. I beg your pardon? I should have expected you would already know. Geez, how do your sources even get this stuff? Settle down. It isn't anything to fret over. I'm curious though. Did you hear anything of note? It was only some friendly advice, nothing more. There's still plenty we have to figure out for ourselves. Is that right? Well, the same could be said of myself. What? I was merely thinking out loud. I can envision as many scenarios as I'd like, but that doesn't mean any of them will come to pass. With so many conflicting motives, there's so much we don't know. That's true of everyone working here today. Will today be the day the first domino falls, or is that juncture yet to come? Who can really say at this point in time? I think I understand what you're getting at, but still. Either way, she's right on the mirror. The only thing I'll add is that my role today is nothing more than that of a presidential guardian and keeper. In that sense, you could also consider us colleagues. Let's say we put aside our allegiances and simply watch how today unfolds. Beyond that, I have no further comments to make for the moment. Fair enough, thanks for the information. Words. Alright, that's one patrol down. Nothing unusual to report at the moment. Yep, so far so good. Might as well make another loop around. Good plan. You know, I can't help but wonder if the conference room is going smoothly. Or conference is going smoothly. Me too. I know the mayor and speaker are doing their best, but that's a tough room they've got in there. The Blood and Iron Chancellor and President Rocksmith present the greatest challenge. That they do, want to ask someone how it's been going during the intermission? Same day, 3:05 p.m. The trade conference finally reached its half point. Before the intermission officially began, the heads of the state held a brief conference for the media. Meanwhile, Lloyd and the others took the opportunity to speak with Mr. Grimwood, who started his break ahead of the others. Ah, that explains it. Things being as precarious as they are, the SSS was asked to assist with the security detail. Exactly. I'm not sure how much of a difference we really make in the grand scheme of things, though. We may only be additional peace of mind. Don't sell yourself short, my friend. You're the team that thwarted an assassination attempt on our previous mayor. It's reassuring to have you all here. That's kind of you to say. Yeah, thanks for the vote of confidence. How's the conference going, Mr. Grimwood? Things appear to be proceeding smoothly thus far. That's a fair assessment. Talks are slow, but steady for now. The participating nations have already agreed to several trade deals. Mayor Croy efforts are truly beginning to pay off for all of us. Thank goodness. That puts my mind at ease. Slow, but steady for now, you say. Do you think things may get rocky in the second half? Oh? Is there something you're concerned about? I doubt I heard the jurisdiction to tell you this, as an observer on the sidelines. But the focal point of the first half of the conference centered on proposals that affected such fields as trading and finance. The second half, on the other hand, will be reserved for proposals from each of the various heads of state. That's undoubtedly when the topic of crossbow defenses will be addressed. But if they do that, it'll only be a matter of time before foreign military presence enters the equation. What about the non-aggression pact? It's only been 2 years since it was signed. Queen of Liberal did push the pact into being what Crossbow's best interest in mind. But technically, 2 of the nations participating today never signed the pact, Remiferia and, well, Crossbow itself. In light of that, it's only inevitable that a new continental security framework will be discussed. Likely so, my grandfather shares your concerns and expectations both. Drafting up a new pact and having Crossbow sign it this time not be the simplest solution. It has to be. They can model the framework after the non-aggression pact and prohibit military force between all the nations. I get it, Crossbow isn't technically a nation. The Empire and Republic only recognize Crossbow as an autonomous state. It's as you say, Crossbow lacks the sovereignty to enter an international treaty. Economic arrangements alone are not grounds for the state to enter into a formal pact as its own entity. That fine line we tread is precisely what puts the state of Crossbow in jeopardy. I'm sort of getting it, but this definitely isn't cut and dry. Excuse me, but I have something I would like to ask. Crossbow is not the only autonomous state on the continent. Le Mans or Northumbria, for instance. Other states also bear from entering into international treaties. No, they're not. It's true that each state has its own set of historical circumstances as to why they remain states instead of forming nations. However, each of them has also been recognized by the major powers as independent. So they all have equal standing. Exactly. They're treated very differently than Crossbow, primarily because their sovereignty is recognized by the holy city of Arteria. The holy city of Arteria, as in the high seat of the Sethian Church. As a city-state, Arteria's territory is small, but the church holds religious authority across the continent. Numerous autonomous states and free cities owe their establishment to the church's aid. And you have Crossbow, whose autonomy was gifted to it by Aragonian Calvard. That's how we're in the unique position of having two suzerain powers above us. And that has historically led to Crossbow being dragged into the conflicts time and time again. If Crossbow only had a modicum of sovereignty, we could work to improve the situation. But if consent from both countries is what it takes for that to become a reality, then there's basically no hope. I wish I could disagree. But that way, it does seem blank. Getting back to the topic at hand, I would expect the Chancellor and President to have their ideas regarding Crossbow security. Naturally, each country's term for their respective proposals will differ vastly. The Speaker and Mayor will have to be wary of what we stand to gain or lose. Apologies, my friends. I'm sure you already have enough on your minds. Remember that Speaker McDowell is no stranger to matters such as these, and I get the sense that Mayor Croy still has some cards to play himself. You think he has a plan? What could it be? I don't know the particulars myself, nevertheless it could very well be. Sorry, I should take this.